A footpath can look like open country, just dirt, trees, and space to roam. Hikers pack their bags expecting total freedom from city laws, yet the Appalachian Trail runs on tight hidden rules. These rules do not show up as fences. They act like invisible gates across the land. A simple walk can cross many different legal lines. The surface story is absolute freedom. The hidden story is massive foot traffic wearing down old mountains. Heavy hiking pressure forces land managers to act. So they use permits, time limits, and sudden bans. It seems like a mess of paperwork. Yet it is really a control panel for fragile ground. This countdown covers 10 wild traps on famous trails. These are rules that flip normal expectations upside down. A campfire at breakfast can trigger a massive fine. A hammock tied to a tree can break federal rules. Walking a dog can cost thousands of dollars. Permits can control where hikers sleep and how many days they stay. The crazy part is these systems are running right now. They shape who sleeps where every single night. Fact number 1 is a rule that catches almost every paid group. Let's begin with fact number 10. Fact number 10, the Katahdin Papergate. Katahdin looks like a wild, open summit on a map. Most people expect an online ticket system. Yet the park uses a strict paper gate with a hard annual cap. Long-distance hikers are limited to 3,150 permits each year. That limit keeps the summit from turning into a chaotic crowd. The permit is only issued in person. Rangers hand out a stamped card at one specific station. Rangers can explain impact rules directly during this issuance. There is no advance reservation system available. Hikers must wear this card on their pack. That detail turns enforcement into a highly visible system, which means rangers can check compliance easily on the trail. The penalty for climbing without it hits like a hammer. Violators face fines reaching $1,000. That is like paying a car note just for walking uphill. The high cost stops people from risking an illegal climb. The alpine zone here is very fragile. One boot off the path crushes plants that grow slowly. Many steps turn that damage into bare dirt, so the paper card acts like a shield. It keeps pressure manageable right now. Fact number 9, Virginia's daytime fire ban. A campfire ring usually means a fire is allowed, yet Virginia flips the clock on trail fires. The state runs a strict 4 p.m. burning law. From February 15th through April 30th, open fires are banned from midnight until 4 p.m. Most people think night brings the most danger. But daytime holds the sharpest risk during dry seasons. The sun dries, dead leaves fast, winds pick up, and humidity drops low. This pulls water out of dead grass very quickly. A morning cooking fire can throw sparks into ready fuel, which means a simple breakfast and stop can start a wildfire. Dense forests here carry flames like paper, so the law creates a daily time boundary. The rule covers morning, cooking hours, and lunch stops. Hikers must completely extinguish ashes with water before leaving. Ashes can look cold, while coals stay hot underneath. What's wild is that the ground can look green, yet the dry leaf carpet can still burn fast. Even allowed fires must sit in existing grates. That hazard remains a live threat every spring. Fact number 8, the 99% dog ban. The Great Smoky Mountains look like endless space to roam. People assume pets can walk these wide trails, yet the park restricts dogs on about 99% of its paths. Only 2 flat river trails allow leashed dogs. The Gatlinburg Trail and Oconaluftee River Trail are the only exceptions. Every other ridge and hollow stays completely closed to pets. That sounds extremely harsh at first glance, yet dogs leave scent that signals a predator presence. This pushes wildlife away from crucial travel lanes. A quick bark can trigger a deer to bolt. a dog can also provoke a bear into a defensive response, so the park blocks access to protect the ecosystem. The penalty for breaking this rule is massive. Fines can reach up to $5,000 for violations. That cost discourages repeat issues in a heavily visited park. The permitted trails sit near roads to make monitoring easy. The rule forces people to keep dogs close to visitor centers. This lowers the odds of a dog pulling free and vanishing into brush. That strategy still works today to keep backcountry areas quiet. Fact number 7. Keys Gap Sleep Trap. A flat patch of trees looks like a perfect campsite, but near Keys Gap in Virginia, looks will deceive hikers. A total camping ban starts about a half-mile south of the Gap. The line sits on National Park Service land. There is no giant wall marking the boundary, yet sleeping here brings serious enforcement pressure. The rule does not just target big tents. It bans hammocks and bivouacs entirely in that zone, so the usual loopholes simply fail. Rangers patrol this stretch heavily because it sits near a highway. High traffic causes fast overuse and spreading trash. Social trails form rapidly when people search for hidden camp spots. It also sits very close to private land boundaries. A tired hiker can drift off trail and trespass easily. South of this zone, rules shift again. An adjacent wildlife area requires written authorization for primitive camping. That means hikers cannot just step off the trail anywhere. They must push past the restricted zone entirely. That pressure keeps the corridor from being crushed right now. Fact number 6. The $10 toilet fee. A wooden tent platform sits deep in the White Mountains. It looks like a basic deck built in wild trees. Hikers expect remote stops to be completely free, yet the Appalachian Mountain Club charges a $10 nightly fee. That small charge acts like a hidden utility bill. These high-use sites function like tiny towns without city services. There is no city trash truck coming up a dirt road here. Concentrated human waste damages thin alpine soil quickly, so the money funds massive composting toilets in remote zones. These systems break down waste safely instead of scattering it. The fee also pays for water purification and trail repair. Platforms keep tents off fragile plant roots to limit trampling. A self-registration envelope box enforces this quiet backcountry order. Fines exist for people who try to evade payment, which means a simple overnight stay funds major infrastructure. The fee keeps tools, materials, and staff moving. Patrols handle trash issues before they snowball into larger problems. That system keeps heavily traveled water sources clean today. Fact number 5. Shenandoah's traffic pipeline. The trail through Shenandoah National Park feels open and wild, but it actually runs like a strictly controlled pipeline. The park manages a 101-mile section with extreme care. Heavy traffic hits the exact same flat spots repeatedly. This crushes plants and packs soil like brick, so managers use a strict online permit system to track movement. Hikers can book spots up to 90 days ahead. Permits cap group sizes at a hard limit of 10 people. 10 people walking to water creates fast wear on routes. 10 people also drop backpacks on the same vulnerable ground. Stays are capped at 7 consecutive nights total. That prevents hikers from locking down spots for weeks. A nightly fee of $9 adds a financial limit. What's wild is that camping near day-use shelters is entirely banned. Rangers use printed or digital permits to check groups constantly. The corridor stays under tight surveillance day and night. That structure keeps the famous green tunnel from washing away right now. Fact number 4. Katahdin's freeze-thaw shut down. Fall weather seems perfect for a long mountain climb, but Baxter State Park alters the rules drastically in mid-October. Trails can shut down completely between October 15th and December 1st. This blocks travel during a highly dangerous transition period. Granite rock slabs look safe from a distance, yet freezing temperatures turn them into invisible skating rinks. A thin, clear ice glaze forms overnight. It can sit flat against the rock and fool boots easily. The sun melts it, and cold air freezes it back harder. This freeze-thaw cycle changes traction hour by hour. A strong wind gust can easily knock a hiker off balance. Ground health is another major factor for the closure. Alpine tundra acts like a wet sponge in shoulder seasons. Boots punch through soft mud and destroy slow-growing plants. So the park closes the mountain to let the ground freeze solidly. Rangers close trailheads before trouble even begins. That closure pattern remains vital to survival today. Fact number 3. The Bear Rock Wind Trap. Charlie's Binion in the Smokies looks like an amazing photo spot. The rock ledge offers massive panoramic views, yet that same bare rock removes all safety nets. At 5,565 feet of elevation, weather changes rapidly. Winter weather here mimics Canadian climates entirely. A calm start at the trailhead can hide brutal ice up high. There are no trees to break the roaring wind. Thick fog can erase visibility in a matter of seconds, which means the trail edges suddenly vanish into white. Hikers report knee-deep snow, drifts hiding uneven stones. Freezing rain coats the rock in a slick glass layer. Rangers strongly recommend microspikes for basic traction near cliffs. A small slip offers almost zero recovery room. Erosion stripped the soil away decades ago during heavy rain. That stripping removed the protective padding and plant grip, so the best view quickly becomes the most dangerous footing. That hazard waits on the rock spine every single winter. Fact number 2. The mandatory shelter rule. Hikers expect to pitch a tent anywhere in the woods. Yet through hikers in the Smokies face a strangely strict requirement. They must sleep inside designated wooden shelters if space allows. The rule sounds extremely controlling at first glance, but it acts as a massive shield for the forest floor. Scattered camping destroys soil and creates wide bare patches. A shelter area is already hardened for heavy impact, so forcing people under a roof saves the surrounding plants. The park holds 4 shelter spots exclusively for through hikers during spring, but there is a vital safety valve built into the plan. Hikers can pitch a tent nearby if the shelter is fully packed. This compromise keeps overflow damage tightly contained. It stops people from wandering off and scarring new ground. A single permit covers 38 days to allow for slow travel. This builds a small cushion for bad weather and slow pacing. The rule remains heavily active during peak spring migration today. Fact number 1. The paid group permit trap. The Appalachian Trail seems like a free public resource, yet money changes the legal status of a hike instantly. Any commercial operation requires a special use permit. This includes paid guides, tours, and professional filming crews. Most people assume only massive tourist buses need permits, yet a tiny group with one paid guide triggers the rule. Land managers use these permits to track resource strain. A business runs repeat trips that hammer the same locations. Filming crews bring props and block narrow footpaths completely. Managers can demand insurance and clean up bonds for high-impact events. The goal is to preserve the primitive footpath experience. Applications take up to 90 days to process, which means last-minute guided trips often hit a legal wall. A review checks expected crowding, noise, and campsite strain. It also restricts heavily branded events that turn trails into marketing sets. That hidden net protects the trail from becoming a staged venue right now. these 10 facts reveal a completely different map. The wilderness is not just empty space. It is a highly managed system of rules, limits, and invisible borders. Permits track numbers and shape daily movement. Bans protect fragile ground from being loved to death. Time limits keep fires from racing across states. People think a trail is just dirt and rocks, but the quiet checks steer yous away from total chaos. Every fee and boundary has a massive landscape reason behind it. A wooden platform preserves alpine soil. A paper card saves a mountain from being trampled. A stove replaces an open fire to block flying embers. A dog ban keeps wild travel lanes totally open. That structure stays active today across millions of acres. It keeps the mountains wild right now, one rule at a time.